a big reason why I wanted to come on, and is, like you said, part of Around the 412 and the Pod Hub Network as well, and do the Pittsburgh market for the Pod Hub, and you were the first person that we got to do that, and there was definitely a reason behind that. So thrilled to join you today, Joe.
Well, thank you, and you guys are like my podcast mentors. All you guys, like I look up to you, and it's like, when I grow up, I want to be just like them.
I don't know. You might have to shoot a little bit higher than that, but I appreciate it.
Maybe aim higher.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Donut Bag, part of the Pulse Podcast Network and the Pod Hub Network. In this episode, I review the biggest sports stories of 2018 with Zach Smith from the Around the 412 podcast. The Donut Bag starts right now. Okay, since it's toward the end of the year, I figure we might as well do a best of list of the biggest sports stories in Pittsburgh for 2018. With me to talk about that is Zach Smith. He is 1/3 of the Around the 412 podcast and an executive with the Pod Hub Network, and at Z23Smitty on Twitter. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, Joe. How are you?
I'm all right. This is your first time on here, isn't it?
It is. It's been a long time coming.
Wow.
I know. Wow. It seems like it's been forever since you've had this podcast going.
I know.
It's probably just because of how the rate that you pump them out. It just seems like you've been going at it for so long. But
I've been doing this for almost 5 months, and
right, yeah.
I think I put one out. I think I put an episode out every 2.3 minutes. So yeah. I have.
Yeah. But no, I'm a fan of the show. Want to say that first and foremost. I listen to every episode, so that's obviously a big reason why I wanted to come on, and is, like you said, part of Around the 412 and the Pod Hub Network as well, and do the Pittsburgh market for the Pod Hub, and you were the first person that we got to do that, and there was definitely a reason behind that. So thrilled to join you today, Joe.
Well, thank you, and you guys are like my podcast mentors. All you guys, like I look up to you, and it's like, when I grow up, I want to be just like them.
I don't know. You might have to shoot a little bit higher than that, but I appreciate it.
Maybe aim higher.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we came up with a list of the biggest sports stories. Let's see. I'll start. Somebody mentioned James Conner. That was a big surprise. I love him more than anything, and I followed him at Pitt, and I just love his story and him as a person. But I did not expect him to do as well as he did. Did you?
No, and it's crazy to sit here and think about it right now. Like, he just got named to the Pro Bowl yesterday. The ascension has been crazy. From at the beginning of the year, well, when we first drafted him, a lot of people said, it was just kind of like a homer pick. Like, he went to Pitt. He's a local guy, so we're just taking him to take him for that reason. And then, he averages like 8 yards per carry last year in a minimal role behind Le'Veon. And then coming into this season, don't know what the status is with Le'Veon. Still expected him to show up, though, week one. That doesn't happen, so we know Connor's getting a start then. And then it turns into an extended absence, and Connor's doing fantastic, and people start saying they don't even want Le'Veon back. And then Le'Veon doesn't come back, and now James Conner's a Pro Bowler. So, it's just crazy the way that things have developed for the Steelers and him personally throughout the course of the season.
It's amazing, yeah. And I wonder if the way Jalen Samuels ran kind of discounted what Conner did, because it almost seems like you could put anybody behind that line and they'll do well. I still think that Le'Veon Bell and Conner are, special talents, but
I think it also showed that the Steelers' offensive line has a lot to do with that.
Right, yeah. I mean, you still want to see the body of work before you're putting Jalen Samuels in the class with those guys. But that was the same thing with Connor, Let's see a body of work before we start comparing Connor to Le'Veon. But yeah, I mean, we started sitting here saying on our show, like, yeah, you can attribute most of the run game to the offensive line now, I think. I mean, if you can really just put any running back behind there, and I mean, look, Jalen Samuels 172 yards against the Patriots. Now, he's not going to do that every week, and the Patriots are a pretty weak run defense. But, there's a tough test coming up against the Saints, who are second against the run Sunday. So whoever's running behind them, we'll see what they can do. But yeah, getting back to the discrediting thing, I mean, yeah, you got to still have a guy that's capable, and if you're the Steelers running back, you better be able to catch the ball out of the backfield too, which is definitely something that James Conner's worked on because, like you said, you followed him at Pitt. That wasn't really part of his game.
Right.
Definitely something that's developed for him over the last couple of seasons with the Steelers and needed to develop in order for him to have the every down role that we saw him go into.
That's the thing. He's really progressed in every way, in a football sense and his body too. It's like he changed his body from over the off season to be more optimized for the NFL. And yeah, he wasn't a pass catcher at Pitt, and he's really good at it now. And I remember last year with the Steelers, they said his pass blocking wasn't very good or whatever. He didn't pick up the blitz very well, and now he's excellent at it. So, hopefully he'll be okay.
The pass protection is the one thing I wanted to say. With Jalen Samuels on Sunday against the Patriots, there were a few times where he didn't get the chip and left Roethlisberger hanging to dry there. But no, that's something that definitely that's something that's pretty easy to improve on. I'd rather have a guy that is a little bit of a liability in the pass protection because you can work on that, especially with the guys that we have working with us. I mean, the running backs coach, and if you can have Munchak have a hand in that as well with what he does with the offensive line. The Steelers' offensive line is the best in the league at picking up stunts. So,
yeah. So the next one is one you brought up and one that just happened. The Steelers beat the Patriots,
right?
And
yes.
To me, I equate it to like I know you're not old enough. I'm not old enough to remember World War II, but I think this is what it was like when we defeated the Nazis and the Japanese. I like the evil empire is gone. It felt so good because I was talking to Patriots people, and I said it's not you can't consider it a rivalry. I mean, they play each other every year, it seems like, but it's not a rivalry because the Patriots never lose to them. Yeah, it's so one-sided, and then for the Steelers to finally win, it just felt so good. It's like this is what sports is all about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, for me at least, it was just so many emotions at one time. I mean, at first it was just relief. I mean, I wasn't even like excited when the fourth down was incomplete. Like, I just kind of sat there and was kind of like almost in shock. Like I wasn't I fully expected the Patriots to tie it there, and I was like, they're probably gonna go for two.
Right.
Because it's the Patriots. I even tweeted this. It just seems like the Patriots literally do everything differently against the Steelers to try to make them look more foolish, to show them how much more strategic and how better coached they are.
Right.
And so I was just fully expecting them to go down, get the touchdown, go for two, and us end up losing another heartbreaker.
That would have been the most Patriots thing ever, is if they scored a touchdown, went for two, and then won on some controversial call that the refs like favored them or something.
Or if they wouldn't have converted the two, but there was like a pass interference, or something like that, and they got another shot.
Like Mike Tomlin's toe was on the on the line, and they called it too many men on the field or something like that.
Right. Yeah. But it's been a long time coming. Like you said, like I don't even. It's like I've never watched them really beat the Patriots like with Tom Brady. Like I don't. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I remember when they beat them in 2008. But that was the year that Brady missed because of a torn ACL.
It was the Matt Castle year.
Yeah, and they still won 11-5. So,
do you think the Patriots are done? Because I mean, they looked pretty bad. I mean, I know the Steelers played the game of their life in all facets. But Patriots didn't look that great either, especially Gronk.
Right, and that's something that I've kind of been touching on because when the Steelers aren't playing and the Patriots are, like if they're in different time slots or when the Steelers are on the bye week, I'm watching the Patriots just because like that's the team to watch. To me, like until they get knocked off, they're still the team to me.
Yeah.
But they don't look like the same team. I mean, Brady doesn't look the same. It looks like age is finally starting to catch up to him, at least somewhat. Gronkowski, just so many injuries over the years. I mean, his body's so much older than his actual age. And that's what we were talking about on our show. Is it finally time where you can put single coverage on him, or do you still have to respect him and give him the double coverage?
Yeah.
But yeah, they to me, I don't know. I just feel like they're not the true number one team. Like, I feel like it's more wide open than in past years because of that. They're on a little bit of a decline at least. But they still have, like, I just feel like at the end of the day, their coaching is so much better that it's hard to completely write them off.
Right. I mean, they're just, Belichick is so smart. He'll think of a way to just, cover up that Brady's old or Gronk or whatever. Who knows? They'll figure something out. I mean, like if the Steelers and Patriots played again, I don't know who would win. Probably the Patriots.
I mean, look at what it took for us to beat them. I mean, yeah, we shot ourselves in the foot. We left somewhere between 6 to 10 points on the field too. But at the same time, they took more penalties in that game than they had in like the past 5 weeks combined. And they dropped, I don't know how many passes, at least 2 on was it their first possession or was it when it was tied at 7?
Yeah, there were a lot of drops.
But
I think some of those penalties were actually because of the Steelers, because the linebackers and the line was putting so much pressure on them and stuff. So yeah,
and I think you got to attribute the crowd noise to that too.
Yes, that also, yeah.
And was it Vince Williams that said that, or I can't remember who it was. One of the Steelers said that he attributes their false starts obviously to the crowd noise and said that that's probably the loudest that he's heard it since he's been a Steeler, whoever the player was. I can't remember who it was. Might have been Hayward. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. But anyway, yeah.
Awesome. So, the next one I have is the Pirates finishing over 500.
Yeah.
This I did not see coming. When I did a prediction, I think I predicted 75 or 76 wins or something like that, which I think was around the Vegas line too. And my prediction was that they were going to, at the trade deadline, just trade veterans. They decided they weren't going to be in it and trade veterans. And I was real close to being right because it looked like that was the way it was going to go. And then they have this insane, win streak, and they just kept winning and almost force Huntington's hand. But 82 and 79 is that what you thought? What happened?
Yeah, I thought with some. I put the win total at like 80, but that was, give or take a little bit of luck, obviously, and it's a couple games higher, a couple games lower. I thought they would be somewhat competitive. I thought they could be a team in the mix for a wild card, with the way that the NL looked last year. But as far as what they did at the trade deadline, I did not see that coming. No. And like you said, it took a run by the team to force their hand to do so. And it's such a shame that, Dickerson and Marte got hurt at the exact same time because they were both hot when they got hurt. And who knows what would have happened had those guys not went down. But, that ended up showcasing Meadows a little bit, and then he gets dealt in that deal for Archer. I know that I don't know how a lot of people feel about it, but really you were trading that you gave up what you did because of Archer's contract. He makes such little money for what he is, as a number, 2, maybe 3 pitcher at this point in his career. I don't really know. The last couple of weeks of the season for the Pirates, though, he definitely looked more like number 2. So I'm hopeful for what this team can be in 19 as well. But the division's going to be so crowded. St. Louis getting Goldschmidt. The Reds' offense was good last year. The pitching was where the problem lied, and they're looking to get better there. So I think the division as a whole can be really competitive this year.
it's so crazy that the Pirates finished 82 and 79, and that's good for fourth in the division. That's, I mean, Milwaukee's 96 wins, Chicago 95, and St. Louis 88 wins. So, I mean, not that